Summer had settled deep over the old town. The evening cicadas were singing their long, slow song, and the sky above the rooftops had turned the color of warm amber. Paper lanterns flickered awake, one by one, along a narrow lane, and somewhere a small wind chime turned in the heavy, gentle air. Down that lane walked a tired man in a summer suit, his jacket folded over one shoulder, his steps unhurried and heavy, as though he were carrying something he had carried for a very long time. And then, at the end of the quiet lane, a small, warm light. A little bell rang as the door slid open by itself. The man stepped inside, loosened his collar, and let out a slow breath. The shop was small and impossibly calm. Washy paper in soft summer colors lined the walls, and the air smelled of cut grass and warm wood and evening rain. Behind the counter sat a white dog, quiet, still, watching a single sheet of paper as though it were a friend. "Forgive me," the man said, almost embarrassed. "I don't really know why I came in. I only saw the light." The dog lifted her head and tilted it gently. Then with her nose, she nudged a small cushion toward the counter. The man looked at it for a long moment, and then, with a tired smile, he sat. "I'll tell you something I've never told anyone," the man said, "because you don't seem the type to repeat it. There is a thank you I have carried for 30 years. The dog said nothing. One ear turned just slightly toward him. I was 22. It was the worst night of my life. I had lost everything that mattered to me, and I had decided to stop trying. I was on the last train home, and I was not planning to go home. Across from me sat a stranger, an ordinary, tired person going somewhere ordinary. They did not speak. They did not look at me with pity. They simply sat, and when the train reached their stop, they stood to go. And without a word, they set down a warm can of coffee on the seat beside me. "Drink it," they said, "while it's still warm." And then the doors closed, and they were gone. The man looked down at his hands. I never learned their name. I never saw their face clearly. But that small warmth, that one kind thing, it kept me alive. I built an entire life on it, and I never once got to say thank you. After a long moment, the white dog rose. With the tip of her nose, she slid a single sheet of pale washi to the center of the counter, and then she simply looked at it. The man watched, not quite understanding, and the paper began to move. Slowly, gently, all on its own, it folded. One crease, then another, sharp and sure, soft as a breath. No hands touched it. The dog only watched, calm and certain. A small shape rose from the paper. Not a crane, a paper airplane, simple and ready, its nose pointed toward the door. It lifted into the air, hovering, glowing with a faint and patient light. "But I don't even know where they are," the man whispered. "I wouldn't know the first place to send it." The dog only looked at the little airplane, calm and certain. Some messages know the way on their own. You have only to let them go. The paper airplane slipped out through the open door into the summer night. Over the lantern-lit lane it flew, over the dark rooftops, over a wide, glittering river of city lights, and into a crowded evening train, full of tired strangers going home. And there, among all those faces, was one the man would never have known. An old person now, in their 70s, sitting quietly by the window, tired in the same gentle way, going somewhere ordinary, as they always had. The paper airplane drifted down and landed softly in their hands. They unfolded it slowly, and they read what was written inside. A thank you. 30 years late. They did not quite remember that night. It had been such a small thing, but they remembered the person they had always tried to be, and they looked up, out into the dark glass of the window, and a soft, surprised smile came over their face. And somewhere, across all those years, they gave a small, quiet nod. Yes, you're welcome. It was nothing at all, and it mattered more than you know. When the man opened his eyes, he was back in the little shop. His cheeks were wet, and he did not bother to hide it. For 30 years, he had carried a debt he could never repay. And now, somehow, it had been delivered. The white dog nudged a small cup of cold barley tea across the counter with her nose. The man laughed softly and wiped his eyes and took a slow sip. "Thank you," he said, to the dog and to the stranger and to a warm can of coffee on a train a very long time ago. The dog tilted her head, and her eyes seemed almost to smile. Outside, the summer night was warm and full of cicada song. The man stepped out into it, his jacket over his shoulder, walking a little lighter, carrying nothing now but the quiet of a thing finally set down. He turned back once, but the little shop was dark, its light already gone, as though it had never been there at all. The man was not surprised. Somehow, he had expected as much. Above him, the paper airplane rose, drifting up past the glowing lanterns toward the summer stars, carrying a thank you that had, at last, arrived. Some letters are folded, not written.